Max Holloway stuns Dustin Poirier in epic retirement fight at UFC 318. **** Max Holloway triumphs in Poirier's farewell fight at UFC 318****. In a highly anticipated showdown, Max Holloway emerged victorious in the main event of UFC 318, marking the end of Dustin Poirier's illustrious career in mixed martial arts. Despite the unanimous decision loss, Poirier's final appearance in the octagon was a celebration of his remarkable journey over 16 years in the sport. The event took place at the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, where the atmosphere was electric. The 5-round BMF title fight was filled with intense moments and dramatic shifts in momentum, culminating in a classic exchange between the two fighters. The judges scored the bout 49-46, 49-46, and 48-47 in favor of Holloway, who now holds a record of 27 wins and 8 losses. After the fight, Holloway expressed his readiness to face any challenges for the BMF title, briefly mentioning the current lightweight champion, Ilia Topuria, before turning the focus back to Poirier. Reflecting on the overwhelming support he received during fight week, Poirier shared, "It's been overwhelming, honestly. I feel appreciated. I feel seen. I never stepped outside of fighting and looked at it this way. This week has been incredible. I feel loved by the fans, Louisiana, and the company. I'm a kid living the dream out here, man, throwing punches." Holloway, on the other hand, was pleased with his performance, stating, "I'm pretty happy. Poirier can still hit hard, but he kept coming back. I came in knowing I wanted to be the spoiler and the villain." At 36 years old, Poirier retires with an impressive legacy, tying for the 5th most wins in UFC history with 22 and ranking 4th for the most knockouts at 11. His career highlights include 3 title fights in 2019, 2021, and 2024, where he faced off against elite fighters like Khabib Nurmagomedov, Charles Oliveira, and Islam Makhachev. Notably, he captured the interim lightweight title in 2019 by defeating Holloway in a memorable 5-round battle. The trilogy bout against Holloway showcased the essence of a Poirier fight. Holloway knocked him down early, but Poirier demonstrated his resilience by getting back on his feet. Although Holloway dropped him again in the 2nd round, Poirier retaliated by knocking Holloway down later in the round and attempted a guillotine choke. In a heartfelt moment, Poirier made his entrance to the octagon accompanied by New Orleans rapper Lil Wayne, a nod to his roots. Poirier, who hails from Lafayette, had previously walked out to Lil Wayne's A Milli during his UFC debut in 2011. The UFC even adjusted its schedule to allow Poirier to fight in his home state for his final match. According to UFC stats, Holloway outstruck Poirier with a total of 186 strikes to 114. Although Poirier managed to cut Holloway under his left eye in the 4th round, the volume of Holloway's strikes began to wear on him as the fight progressed. By the end, Poirier's movements appeared slower, yet he still accepted Holloway's challenge to engage in a striking exchange in the center of the octagon. This victory is significant for Holloway, especially after suffering the first knockout loss of his career to Topuria in October. UFC President Dana White commented on Holloway's current standing, stating, "He just defended that BMF title. He's ranked number 4 in the world there. Anything is possible for Max right now." What are your thoughts on Poirier's retirement? Do you believe he will be remembered as one of the greats in UFC history? Share your opinions in the comments. Dustin Poirier's retirement fight. Max Holloway retains BMF title at UFC 318. In a stunning turn of events, Dustin Poirier's retirement bout ended in defeat as Max Holloway secured a decisive victory, retaining the BMF title at UFC 318. This high-stakes match took place in New Orleans, adding an emotional layer as Poirier aimed to conclude his illustrious career on a high note in his hometown. The fight kicked off with Holloway seizing the initiative. Known for his swift strikes, Holloway landed a crisp 1-2 combination that pierced through Poirier's defenses. Though Poirier managed to get back on his feet, Holloway had already made a powerful statement. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite Poirier's resilience, Holloway maintained relentless pressure. He set a dominant tone early on and reinforced it in the second round, making it clear he wasn't just there to be a passive participant in Poirier's farewell. Poirier had his moments, though. He launched a fierce counterattack in the second round, knocking Holloway down with a well-timed hook and even attempting a guillotine choke, which made the scoring for that round intriguingly complex. In the third round, Poirier found his rhythm with his jab and put up a strong argument for winning the round. However, Holloway entered the final frame with a lead on most judges' scorecards. Ultimately, Poirier couldn't muster the decisive push needed to win his retirement fight. Nonetheless, both fighters delivered an exhilarating performance that thrilled the audience. This victory is a significant milestone for Holloway, while it adds a bittersweet note to Poirier's career. The 36-year-old had publicly declared this would be his last fight, and the chance to compete in his home state against a familiar rival seemed like the perfect send-off. Unfortunately, Holloway proved to be the sharper contender this time. Yet, it's a fitting end for Poirier, one of the most exciting fighters of his era. Though he never claimed the undisputed UFC title, he did secure the interim lightweight championship by defeating Holloway in 2019. His career boasts an impressive 10 Fight of the Night awards and 4 Performance of the Night bonuses. With victories over notable champions like Conor McGregor, twice, Holloway, twice, Anthony Pettis, Eddie Alvarez, and Michael Chandler, Poirier's legacy is undeniably formidable. Throughout the lead-up to the fight, Poirier was adamant that this would be his final bout. Regardless of the outcome against Holloway, he was ready to leave the sport on his own terms. "I'm not being pushed out," he emphasized, as reported by Greg Rosenstein of NBC Sports. "I'm choosing to walk away, and that's crucial to me." On the other hand, Holloway shows no signs of retiring anytime soon. Coming off a knockout loss to Ilia Topuria in his previous fight, he was eager to prove he still belongs at the top. "My message is simple: I'm still here," Holloway stated before the fight, as quoted by MMA Junkie. "I know this is Dustin's retirement fight, but his last fight was for a title. I still have title aspirations." A rematch with Topuria might be a tough sell at this point, but Holloway has undoubtedly positioned himself for another shot at a top contender. If he can replicate performances like this, it won't be long before he's contending for another title. What do you think? Was this the right time for Poirier to retire, or did Holloway simply have the upper hand on this occasion? Share your thoughts in the comments.